Hey everyone, what is up? Tim here, back again for Droid Life. Please do not adjust the dial. You're not having deja vu. So Kellen earlier this week unboxed the regular Galaxy S20, the smaller sibling to this one, and I will be handling the big phone duties, the Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G. Although I'm not saying the 5G part, I'm just going to say Galaxy S20 Ultra or S20 Ultra. Anyway, so we've got the phone. Kellen's going to be handling all the tiny device coverage, and like I said, I'll be doing the big guy. So let's just go right into it. There's a few differences, plus I want to give you a big size comparison thing. So let's just get right into it. This is our Galaxy S20 Ultra unboxing. Alright, so as I usually do, I have undone the back sticker. Apologies. You know, it's dangerous to handle a knife on camera because you never know what's gonna happen. So, unlocked by Samsung. Of course, we buy unlocked devices because why fudge with carriers and all that, all their kind of pricing complications and whatever. We just don't want to deal with it. So we've got the unlocked by Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G. Tells us what the package contains, etc. Pretty standard box here. S20, of course, it's a bit larger than your smaller S20 box, of course, because it's it's carrying a much larger device. So Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. These boxes are pretty plain Jane, I would say. So here we go, and there's the device. So right here, I've got all the good stuff. I know that there is going to be your SIM ejection tool right there. And in here we've got a whole lot of nothing besides paperwork. I was actually half expecting there to be a case. I'm actually going to check the package contents thingy because I was expecting there to be a case in there. Maybe it's in the other part of the box, but real quickly, we've got wall charger to headset. Nope, no case. Never mind. You'd think for $1,400 they could throw in a little case. Oh well. So here's the device. Gray, of course, just like Kellen's smaller Galaxy S20. This is just the color that resonated with us this year. I actually quite like it. I don't know if we have any Audi fans here, but reminds me very much of that kind of matte Nardo gray look that Audi does. Very, very nice. I'll go ahead and peel that off for you there. Oh yeah, very, very, very classy. Stick that over there. Look at this camera setup, man. It's bigger than a credit card. It's ridiculous. So there's the phone. I'll go ahead and I'll boot it up for you. And as I boot it up, we'll go over the rest of the contents of the box. Samsung. Just a little thingy. On this thing for the Galaxy Z Flip that I unboxed recently, that was like a big welcome thing. But nothing on this one. Stick that there. We've got a 25-watt wall charger. Oy. Oh no, don't you dare give me that. Alright, mute. Super fast charging wall adapter, USB-C to USB-C. Fantastic. You know what my problem is? I never can get these things back in the way they went originally. We've got your USB-C to USB-C cable. Fantastic. And then you've got your AKG buds with swappable tips. Fantastic. These are USB-C, as you can see right there. I'm not going to pull them out just because I don't need to make a mess, man. You guys know my unboxings. I always make a frickin' mess. And I'm tired of making a frickin' mess. I want this to be clean. All right, box is closed up. So we've got the phone booted up here. Let's go. Let's go over specs real quick. So, Galaxy S20 Ultra, 6.9 inch, huge. Quad HD plus dynamic AMOLED Infinity O display. O for the camera cutout right there. That selfie cam is 3200 by 1440. So a ton of pixels. It is HDR10 plus certified at 120 hertz refresh rate. So it is now, up there with the Asus ROG Phone 2 and the Razer Phone 2. 120 hertz, baby. It's smooth. Powering this whole thing, you got the Snapdragon 865 processor. There's a couple of configurations you can actually choose. So there's the maximum RAM you can get is 16 gigs of RAM with 512 gigs of internal storage. And the lower one, the $1,400 one, that's 12 gigs of RAM with either 128 gig or 256 gigs of storage. So plenty of different storage options should you need them. On the back, I mean, we can't talk about the Ultra without talking about all these different cameras right here. Actually, that's pretty good. You can see all those right there. So on the Ultra, we've got a 12 megapixel ultra wide, a 108 megapixel wide angle, and then you've got the 48 megapixel telephoto. Then, of course, you've got the depth vision time of flight sensor. You've got optical image stabilization on most of these cameras. The only differences between the Ultra, well, there's a couple of differences. But the difference between the S20 Ultra and the S20 Plus and the S20 is that those devices feature the dual pixel autofocus, whereas this features, I think Samsung just labels it as PD autofocus. I'm not sure what the PD stands for. I'll put it down right here. But so that's what this phone has. So there's been a little bit of controversy like, oh, the S20 Plus and the S20 has better cameras than the S20 Ultra. Well, you know, instead of getting maybe the dual pixel autofocus, which is quite nice, this phone autofocuses just fine. I've tested it a little bit when I did my initial hands-on at Unpacked. What was that, in February? And of course you've got the 100x space zoom, and those devices don't have space zoom. Now, personally, not a huge fan of zooming and all that good stuff, but, you know, if you are, then there you go. So it's going to be great. Oh, God, I'm stuck. Get me out. All right, excellent. So let's just keep going down the line here. So 40 megapixel selfie camera, 5,000 milliamp hour battery with fast charging, fast wireless charging 2.0. It's got wireless power share for sharing juice. It's got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.0, NFC, MST, Samsung Pay, etc., etc. You've got your in-display fingerprint reader right here. You've got stereo speakers tuned by AKG. What don't you have? You got IP68 water and dust resistance. So up here you've got that's going to be your micro SIM or just your SIM slot. I don't know why I had to say it was micro SIM, but SIM slot, noise canceling mic on the right side here, power button, volume rocker on the bottom, no headphone jack. So pretty sure this is like the first major device from Samsung that doesn't have the headphone jack, or at least the first lineup of devices. I can actually confirm that by looking at a Galaxy Note 10 that I have right next to me. Yeah, so Note 10 doesn't have a headphone jack either, so never mind, I take that back. Either way, no headphone jack. It's so rude. And that's about it. Nothing on the left side. Again, big old device. $1,400. So let me dive right into the software and give you a quick tour of that. Alrighty, here we go. We got it all booted up, set up. Well, not completely set up. I haven't, stuck in a SIM or done anything like that, but we're in so I can give you a quick little software overview here. Android 10 with One UI 2.0 running on top. Pretty much the same stuff we saw with the last version of One UI and all your, typical Android 10 goodness. But of course, there are a few things real quickly though. There is like a massive kind of screen protector type thing, which you, as a buyer, can choose to leave on or take off. And personally, I'm a big fan of take it off. Take it off. But of course, it's going to be a real bugger. Samsung would probably say, hey, just leave it on. But no way, man. I want to... Oh, yeah, that felt good. That was ASMR faux show. I don't like the feeling of like that plastic on top of my glass. I mean, I paid $1,400. I want to experience everything this thing has to offer. So real quickly, the first thing I want to touch on is just diving straight into display. Of course, you've got your light mode, dark mode, boom. Dark mode that up, brightness, let's crank that a little bit so you can see everything. Adaptive brightness, just turn that off real quick. So let's talk about 120 hertz. Out of the box, comes with 60 hertz. No way, Jose, we're going to go high refresh rate, apply. The only thing is that when you go to that high refresh rate, you're going to get, I guess, throttled down to FHD. FHD Plus, which is the 2400 by 1080, and if you go back to the WQHD, the 3200 by 1440, it's going to take you back down to the 60 hertz, as the high refresh rate isn't supported in that quad HD resolution. So we're just going to stick with full HD, etc., get out of there, and now we're at 120 hertz, and everything is wunderbar. Going down here, so yeah, you can mess with your screen resolution, but also want to talk about the navigation bar. So personally, I'm a big fan of the gestures with Android 10. Do they still need a little bit of work? Of course they do. Things take time, I guess, to really get nice and buttery smooth, but and especially on Samsung's ones, like they're pretty good on the Pixel right now, but I'm going to go ahead and enable that. I don't need gesture hints. I don't need a button to show my keyboard or anything like that. I'll be fine. So there's that. Once you're inside of something, you can swipe back to get out of it, etc., etc. So for the, real quickly here, I'll give you a little preview of the camera action. So we've got our Galaxy Note 10 right here. So we're in the standard kind of wide mode. And of course you've got your 5x zoom, and it does a nice little animation here. I just want you guys to see that. Very nice little animation there. And of course you can go all the way up to 100x. You're not going to be able to make any of this out. It'll be blurry as heck. But very nice little addition there from Samsung. And of course you've got your ultra wide, your 0.5 magnification. So very nice. I mean, the colors look good. Oh yeah, and I can feel it. It's taking shots pretty darn quickly. It looks great. Of course, it's going to take a little bit more testing than me just saying, hey, that looks great. Anyway, so that's the Galaxy S20 Ultra. Real quick overview. Of course, we're going to have first 10 things to do, tips and tricks, etc. So real quickly, let's talk size. Because this thing, it's a honker. So here is the Galaxy Note 10 Plus next to the S20 Ultra. The S20 Ultra is so tiny bit taller. They're both honkers, except the S20 Ultra is just beefier. It's definitely thicker than the Note 10 Plus. And then also, let's see which one's a little wider maybe. So the Note 10 Plus appears to be a little wider. So you've got taller, beefier. It's got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery after all. And then, but taller, and please excuse all those fingerprints. But then you've got a little bit wider in hand with the Note 10 Plus. Let's just keep it moving here with the size comparisons. Boom! Galaxy S20, little guy in blue, gorgeous. S20 Ultra obviously dwarfs this poor little thing, but still, solid specs on the S20. 6.2 inch Quad HD display, 120 hertz. Same basic Snapdragon 865, triple camera. But then of course, the size is just a bit different. 4,000 milliamp hour battery on the S20. So definitely a size difference by every dimension. Thicker, taller, wider. Let's keep that going. I like this. How about a Pixel 4? Pixel 4 XL. We've got quite a little bit taller than the 4XL. I would say they're almost kind of like, not really the same thickness. S20 Ultra, definitely a little bit thicker. It's also a little bit wider. So same kind of camera look though. Very nice, very nice. And then also, I don't know if anyone's still rocking one of these, but here it is next to the OG Droid. So I would say the S20 Plus is about almost twice as tall. About 3/4 for the OG Droid, the S20 Ultra. Maybe like 4, what would that be? 3/4? Yeah, it's quite a bit. And the thicker, actually, the OG Droid, quite a bit thicker than the S20 Ultra. And this, I forget, 800 something milliamp hour battery? I can't quite remember here. Now I need to focus. But definitely quite the little comparison. Anyway, so that's my size comparison. Those are all those devices. If you guys have any questions, comments, I don't want to keep you forever. We are Droid Life. I'll have plenty more S20 Ultra coverage, and Kellen's going to have S20 coverage for you. Again, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, throw them down in the comments below. And until then, we are Droid Life. Peace.